is Kate Kanach. I'm with Hanover County Public Schools. I'm an ITRT for them. I've been working with some of our gifted program teachers over the past, I think this is like our second year. They started out originally with, are y'all familiar with the concept of escape rooms? Okay, so everyone knows an escape room. So they started out with a unit on Animal Farm, and they talked about dictatorships and different things like that. And their culminating unit after a field trip to an escape room is they emptied out their classroom and they turned it into an escape the dictatorship escape room based off of Animal Farm. The other students came in and went through it and all that stuff. So that was really cool. And then we heard about these breakouts, which are like the little individual kind of versions of escape rooms. You have to solve puzzles and clues to unlock different kind of locks. And they're actual physical locks that you can do. There have been a couple breakout sessions at VSTE. I did one with Cindy Burns, who's the teacher I've been collaborating with. We did a BYOD session yesterday. There was another one on Sunday morning. And so these are clues that you're reading and actual physical locks that you're trying to undo, whether they're directional locks, whether they're letter locks or digit locks or just key locks, anything like that. Then what we have is these digital breakouts, which is the online version of the physical breakouts. And BreakoutEDU has all of these resources. You guys have your little paper with that stuff. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to walk you through, we're going to walk through kind of like a lower elementary level digital breakout together. And then we're going to do a higher level, we're going to do the Minecraft breakout later on. And what's really neat about these breakouts, especially with the digital ones and the live ones all coming from BreakoutEDU, is you can do both at the same time. And it's really neat to see. We've had classes where I'm working with a 10th grade English class on a digital literacy unit this year. And we're incorporating breakouts into this. Because when you're reading these puzzles and trying to figure out the information on these puzzles, it's a lot like when you have to go find information online. You have to know what kind of question to ask Google to get the information back that you want. Then you have to know when you go and read these websites, are you going to the right kind of website? Is the information that you're getting from the website the information that you actually need? Is it a red herring? Is it extra information that you don't need? And this is all stuff that we can work into clues and breakouts. We can give them red herrings. We can give them distractor information, okay? Because they need to learn how to read for information, whether it's an actual piece of paper, whether it's a website, whether it's a clue to a breakout box. A lot of times people talk about, too, with the live and the digital ones. With the live ones, you're opening an actual box. With the digital ones, there's no box because it's online. What do you do about, is there some kind of reward or something like that in there? And again, it depends on what you want to do in your classroom, what you want to do with your district. We've got a pretty strict food policy in our district. So we'll do, maybe throw in a couple cards for like 3 points or 5 points on a quiz. Or we're going to be working on a unit on using voice and writing. And so we have a picture book that we use with our 10th graders. We use with all of our kids. It's called Voices in the Park. Each of the characters has a different font for when their character is speaking. So in our last breakout that we did, what they got in their box was an assorted googly eye collection. Have you guys heard of eye bombing? Where you go and place googly eyes on inanimate objects and you turn them into things. So their reward for breaking in was googly eyes, so we're going to take them outside before winter break. They can eye bomb stuff. That's going to be their character that they then have to choose a font for and write that character's story. Okay? So it doesn't always have to be, I know everybody loves a food reward, but it doesn't always have to be a food reward. You can kind of try to tie it into something else. So one of the nice things about these digital breakouts, and we had this board set up because we didn't know we were going to have this display, which is awesome. We're very excited about this. It talks about, let me go ahead and pull this off. So it talks about the 8 reasons to go digital and BreakoutEDU. And of course, one of the biggest reasons that everybody loves is that it's free, okay? And everything's up there. And there are a lot of breakouts that have already been created. And they also have templates available to you if you want to create your own breakout or if you want to alter something that you see, okay? So all that stuff is up there. We're going to go ahead and actually work through a digital breakout. So you guys got your slip of paper, and it's got the website up there. And the one that we're going to do, and we're going to cross our fingers that the Wi-Fi is going to be able to handle us today. Okay. And we're going to do this first one here together. It's called Catch the Bus. Go Wi-Fi, go. Ooh, we're almost there. One more graphic and then we're there. There we go. All right, so essentially all of your breakouts start with some kind of lead-in story, and your digital breakouts have this little paragraph up here at the top. And then you see over here on the left, it's kind of set up, it's like a Google form almost, okay, where you would fill in information. And so this is where, instead of our physical locks, this is where we put the information in for the digital locks. So we can look ahead and we can see, for this breakout, we're gonna have to solve for a 4-digit number lock. We're gonna have to solve for a 7-letter word lock. We're gonna have to solve a 6-direction lock and a 4-color lock, okay? So how do you know when you got it right? When you go in and you try to fill something in, see how it says red there, it's still locked, okay? Once we get it right, then that'll disappear and we'll be right and all will be good with the world, it'll be great. Okay, so we know that we have these different locks that we have to look for. So let's go up, let's go read our starter story and see what we're dealing with here. All right, it's the first day of school at BreakoutEDU Digital Elementary School, and the dismissal bell has just rung. You're not ready to leave, but you can't wait to tell your mom all about your great day. As you grab your backpack, you realize you're the only one left in the room. The teacher has locked you in somehow. Better unlock all the doors on the doors so you can ride your bus home. Okay, and this is where I say, what do we do? What do you mean click on the link?
The first link that says the first day of school is hyperlink.
And how do we know that's a hyperlink? It's blue, all right? So we're working in our digital literacy here. We're saying, listen, it may not be underlined, but it's blue. So that's a clue to you. This is a hyperlink. And I know we get it. This is one of those ones that's written for kind of like K-12 or K-2, like early elementary. And they're just learning about this stuff, what this stuff looks like. So let's click on this link. Let's see where it takes us. Maybe we'll see where it takes us. Yeah, okay, oh, come back. Oh, we were so close.
See it online.
Right?
Far away.
Can you all see it on your screens?
I can.
Some yes, some no. Does everyone have a oh, okay. All right. Hold your breath, y'all. Here we go. All right, so now we have, this link took us to a story. Let's see what this story is going to tell us. The school map. Ava's brother Gerald was going to go to her school. Ava had an idea. She got a piece of paper and crayons. She drew a box at the top. Next to it, she wrote Ava's classroom. Whoops. She drew a box at the bottom of the paper and wrote Gerald's classroom. She drew 2 more boxes in between. On the first one, she wrote the office. On the second one, she wrote the gym. Next, Ava drew a blue dot. She wrote water fountain next to it. Ava showed the page to her brother. It was the map of the school. Gerald was happy. Now he knew where he was going. He could even find the water fountain. Why did Ava make the map?
Help her brother.
Okay. All good answers. All of them are right answers. But what should I do? We got another link here. All right, so let's click this. And you'll notice this opens up in another tab automatically. This is another great spot to teach your kids digital literacy and how they can function. Either you can teach them how to go back and forth between a tab, or you can teach them how to pull out a tab and how to split their screen if they want to see 2 pieces of information at the same time. Well, that didn't help at all. So now they've got the option, they can go back and forth between their tabs if they need to see, because we've got a quiz here, we've got some questions we got to answer. Maybe they're going to need to know how to go back to the story to verify their answers. So now you had this great little moment where you could teach them what those tabs mean and how to pull them out and split your screen if you want to see 2 pieces of info at the time. All right, so let's take a look at this quiz. And why did Ava make that map? Right. And here we go. It's giving us some feedback up at the top, which is always nice. And why does he need that map?
It's a brand new school.
Good. Brand new school. Oh, we got 2 more. That's nice to know, especially if you get a little fidgety like me. All right. Ava uses many materials except pencil. All right. Last one. We have worked really hard. I like that. And the blue dot is the water fountain, right? So, all done. Let's see if we can find the bus driver's schedule. Well, here's another link we get to click. And did it work? Is it going to work? Yay, it worked. So here we have some information. We've got the bus driver schedule. What do we want to do with this information? Is this information we can use somewhere? All right, so we've got some really good ideas here. I've heard number lock, I've heard directional lock, I heard something about a map. Where did my other tab go? There it is. Because, right, we saw this map right here, huh?
We need 6 directions in 7 places, so that would be 6 lines.
Good logic, okay? So how many directions do we need? 6. And how many places are there? 7. So if we've got a starting point and an end point, that's going to mean how many directions are we going to have? We're going to have 6, okay? That's the kind of cool logic you get to see pop out of your kids that you don't necessarily know whether, like, if you're still trying to figure out how their brains are working, then you get that. Here's another interesting thing. So we have this school bus down here in the corner, and what kind of directions are we looking for? What is it? Ooh, shadow. There we go. What kind?
Left, right.
All right, so we are looking for up, down, left, right directionals, all right? There's our school bus. What's the first stop? What's the first stop? Okay, Pine and Poppy, which is right here, right? To the right, correct. What do a lot of people want to say when they see the school bus and they see where it's going? What direction do they want to say? They want to say straight, and it makes sense because you're in the bus and you're the driver and you're going straight. But you want to use more of the clues that you have. The clues that we have is we have to use up, down, left, right. So we have to think of this in 2 dimensions. And so instead of thinking where the actual bus is going, we have to think 2-dimensionally, where are we going on this flat screen, okay? So you got to kind of train your kids to figure out, however you start thinking about a clue, you got to keep thinking through the clue the same way. All right, so we are going, where are we going? We said we're starting out by going right. All right, so I'm going to come down here. I don't trust myself to remember 6 directions all at once, so I'm just going to start filling this in as we go along. So we had to go to the right. Now where are we going to go? Where's our next stop? Up, okay. Now where? Left. Next, where are we going? We're going up again, right? Okay. I should say up again, correct, so as not to confuse, because I would do that to myself. All right, so we have right, up, left, up. 2 more directions. What's our next directional? Left again, and then back to the right. Hey, red line disappeared because we got it. All right, we got our first lock. Nicely done. Now what do we want to do? Yes. Huh? Because this is set up as a template. So whoever created this said the first lock that they were going to put up there was that one on the right. Because I have already done this one, and when you come down here to show the picture, well, come back. Well, fine, we'll do 100. This is what the puzzle ends up being. And so it's going to ask you, it says, go on adventures and field trips with this magical teacher, Miss Underline, and her friend Liz. We all know that's Miss Frizzle, okay, magic school bus. All right, so what word is underlined here?
7-letter word.
Right, maybe that's a clue to something. And how many letters does it have?
7. It works.
So let's see if it actually works down here. Oh, click. All right, and how do we have to type this? All caps. Oops. Nicely done. Got another one. All right. Have we gotten all the links up there, we think? Let's take a look at the rest of our page, because there's some stuff hiding down here. Okay. Can I count on you to organize the backpacks? What do you think we should do? What kind of organizational things can we do?
Sorting,
Sort them by how?
color.
Okay. So we've got 4. We've got 4 colors. Are we looking for a color lock? We're looking for a color lock. We could make some kind of pattern with it. What kind of pattern?
So blue could come first in the color lock.
Good starting point. We've got 1 blue. Okay, so let's just fill this in and see if this works. If it doesn't work, that's fine. We can figure it out. A growing pattern. I like it. So we have 1 blue backpack. Next is 2 reds and 3 yellows and 4 greens. Nicely done. All right, we got another one. Pretty good. We still have some more locks to do, or 1 more lock, right? We have our 4-digit. We still have a 4-digit number lock. Are there any more links on this page? So this is where I have a conversation with the kids and I say, how do we know that in addition, like you can look at something and see that it's blue or that it's underlined, and that's a pretty good clue that it's a link, okay? But what other visual cues that you have that something is a link? Think about your cursor. It changes, right? It's usually an arrow, but when it's on something that's a link, it changes into that little finger, right? Because it wants to click the link. And then we introduce the concept of hidden links, okay? So you want to kind of explore the page and see, is there any hidden links in here? The backpack, right? So you come down here, and that blue backpack, my arrow turns into a little hand. Okay? Explore, be curious. Good when, you know, who knows how many people are doing this digital breakout. So here we've got this. It's not done loading yet. It'll get easier to figure. I mean, we can figure out what's going on here just by looking at it, but with the lower grades, I think it's going to ask you how many supplies are in my backpack once it fully loads. But we can go ahead and move on because we know what's up. So let's try this. 1, 3, 5, 8. One, 3, 5. Nicely done. We got them all. Okay. So then down at the bottom, it's got that little submit thing, and it'll just email you a little badge that says that you completed this. You don't necessarily have to take it to that step if you don't want to. Our kids don't have email accounts attached to their Google accounts, so there's really no point in doing that for them. But once you get all the locks, then that's it. You've done this breakout, and you can decide if you're doing this in a classroom as a teacher, you know, if you want them to come up and show you, you know, I've done this, and here's your whatever. We can go for intrinsic motivation, that works too.
You can even have them email it to you.
If they've got email, absolutely, yes.
Screenshot it.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm saying when it's asked what is your email, have them put your teacher email in.
If they absolutely could do that. It doesn't, it just says, it sends you the badge though. It doesn't say who, it wouldn't necessarily attach a student name that said, hey, Johnny.
It says what's your name.
Is it asking for your name too?
What's your name.
Okay. Well, there you go. Nice little grade book printout you can get in your email. So what we're doing in this 10th grade English class that I've been talking about, we're doing this digital literacy unit and all that good stuff. And the Minecraft one that I'm going to have you guys look at in just a minute is actually, we're going to have that be part of our semester exam. Because it's digital, you all see that you can work on it online by your own. So that's going to be one part of their exam, is doing that breakout. We're not going to give them a whole bunch of multiple choice or anything like that, but they're going to have to learn how to work through this stuff on their own and do it. One of the really neat things that we had, I talked a little bit earlier about how you can do live and digital breakouts at the same time. There's a BreakoutEDU group on Facebook that is free to join, where we get a lot of resources, and it's great, especially if you're new to breakouts, live and or digital, because there's people on there asking questions all the time. I've jammed this lock, how do I get it unstuck? I want to try to do this with this clue, but I'm not really sure how to do it. And the breakout that I did with our students right before Thanksgiving break, called the Pilfered Pie, I think it had started out digital, and there were some teachers that rewrote it to also be live. So it was the same clues, same steps, but you could do it either way. So we split our class into 4 groups. 2 of them did it digital and 2 of them did it live. And it was a great opportunity for them to talk about it later and come back and talk about what was the difference, what did they prefer, what did they not prefer, was one easier than another to work in a group, did one make you want to work more by yourself, all these different things. And essentially what these kids have come around to see, and it's a great group of kids, standard English, great group of kids. What you want to see and what they did, which was great, they got to the point where they were asking, because they know that Mrs. Burns teaches over at the middle school, they started asking if they could write some breakouts for her kids to do, which is what you want them to see, wanting to be able to flip around in their head to the point where not only do they know how to do these things, they can puzzle out how to create these puzzles, okay? So what the English teacher, Jennifer, and I have started talking about doing for their kind of end of the year wrap-up unit, they want to, for the middle school kids, they want to write a series of breakouts that rising 9th graders would do to get oriented to the school during freshman orientation over the summer. So in addition to writing these breakouts, what they're also going to have to do is they're going to have to talk to administration and guidance counselors about what they think is important information for them to share with the rising 9th graders. So that also means they're going to have to contact these people, they're going to have to make appointments, they're going to have to keep appointments, they're going to have to interview them face to face. We're not allowing email interviews. You got to make that appointment, you got to go talk to them face to face, you got to ask them the right kind of questions, and you bet you're going to have to dress appropriately for an interview with administration. Okay, so we've just building all this stuff into what leads up to the creation and doing a breakout and what you can do them for. These things are really, really versatile. And it's easy just to take a breakout that you like. Maybe you don't like the way one clue was written. Maybe instead of have it being on fractions, you want it on coordinate planes. You take that out and you rewrite it to fit what you need. We actually had, for our session yesterday, if you've ever worked with a directional lock, they jam really, really easily. And we did, a couple weeks ago for the faculty professional development day, we did a full faculty breakout session. We had 10 little stations and we split them up and they all had to do the breakout. And so we had set the directional locks for this setting. We didn't want to jam them up. So we rewrote the clue that we had to match what we had already programmed the locks for, so we didn't have to reprogram them for yesterday morning's presentation. Does it take a little work? Yes, it does. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Okay. So just think about those things. And if you are going live, they do have the official breakout boxes and the breakout kits that you can get. You can also get them like end of September at Target. Have the start of school clearances out there. We've gotten all sorts of differently shaped boxes from like Goodwill, okay, Salvation Army, Dollar Store, all that stuff. It doesn't have to be official or serious or anything. Okay, so think about that too when you're thinking about the concept of the live. All right, back to the digital, which is what this session's supposed to be about. We're gonna go ahead and I wanna do the Minecraft one. Since we did this one together, I kinda just wanna let you guys do the Minecraft one. You can work with a partner, because we like to offer the option if you'd like to work with a group or if you'd like to work on your own. I'll circulate. As you guys have questions about what you're doing and whether or not either the actual breakout itself or the concept of the digital breakouts, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Oh, there's one thing else I wanted to say. I can't remember it. I'll remember it eventually. All right, so the Minecraft one, if you go back to the digital breakout EDU page and you scroll down a little bit and find the redstone. This is the one that you guys want to click on. The breakout box at the end, we do not let them have it if they did not break out. They don't get their 5 points. That we were prepared to tell some of those kids that they were not going to get the googly eyes, that they were just going to have to create a character in their head and pick a font. Thankfully, everybody broke out because I kind of like the googly eyes. We were excited about that. But that's a dynamic too that you can decide whether or not you want to see if it happens organically, whether you want to encourage it, Or it might be the kind of breakout where you do want to warn them when they're all working at once ahead of time, like you got to be quiet, because if you're talking really loud, the other groups can overhear and you've given them a clue that maybe you don't want to give them a clue. So just something else to think about with the live breakouts. All right.